How long do you think you're going to live? Question. 100. 120. Forever. I like that. You? 100. This seems to be a target. You, sir? 120. That's pretty cool. I'm going to tell you. So, this is the most important thing. Biological age is way more important than the number that we're talking about. Very soon, we're going to see people, insurance company, banks, working on biological age and not your ID. So 100 is a referential that we have from the time that we live on. But in this community, we have one goal: reversing time. I'm Jean Fallacara. I'm a biohacker for ever. No referential on that. You can say Jean, you can say Jean, you can say John. It's just me. And I'm going to keep going this presentation in French, like my friend said. Oh, no? I can't? Okay, so you have to stand with my accent. If you need translation, we have people around here that can translate. So I've been a biohacker for over 20-something years, and I've been an extreme biohacker. If you go back 20 years, like was no artificial intelligence, no technology to the extreme that we have today, and I'm 20 years old. You don't believe it? Come on! Okay, thank you. Well, I have about 25 years of experience, almost 30 actually, as a biohacker. So I'm not 28, I'm actually 28 biological age. So in my life, when I started biohacking, the most advanced technology was my microwave that was capable of finding the weight of the meat that you want to cook. And today we know that microwave is not good. But I was obsessed as a scientist by data, all the data that you can collect. And I was monitoring HRV, steps, heartbeat, name it, doing neural stimulation, transcranial direct stimulation. And I was so obsessed that I was working with all these Excel sheets and putting data into it and trying to find a model, because I like maths. And I was trying to find the best model to make me look younger and live longer. Younger and live longer. That's still the goal. But after a certain time, all this data tracking that I've been doing for a long, long time, so sleep analysis, was not like Oura Ring that you have today that can monitor the sleep the same way, but we were trying to find out the best way. Activity, like how many steps you do per day, how long you train, how long it takes you to recover, what do you eat, what calorie you take in, name it. You know what? I got obsessed. And what causes obsession? Do you know? Addiction. Addiction, yes. Addiction. I was addicted to those data. Today, they call it addiction to phone, and so electronic addiction, but it's the same. You get addicted to all these things, and when you don't, for example, you walk 10,000 steps for a day, and you didn't walk the 10,000 the day after, you're just like, oh, damn, I missed it. That is a negative impact on your brain. When your brain is impacted that way, it's not productive. But I was spending all my days waking up in the morning, going outside, taking cold plunges, training, monitoring my data, sauna, hyperbaric chamber, all the technologies and the modalities that today we call biohacking. And what I've done at that time, I reduced my age by 30%. Was it? Yeah, it's okay. We can do better. So the addiction to optimization took me there, but I was not able to realize that it was actually counterproductive. Like, think about it. I'm spending 80% of my time optimizing my life to extend my life for 20%. If you do the math, I'm in deficit. I'm in deep deficit. So this is not the goal of life. This is not the goal of biohacking. It has to be changed in the way that we see things. And I was doing a speech once, and a guy came in the audience. He was an ex-military, and he goes like, I don't understand. I'm the best biohacker in the world, and I wake up in the morning, I take my protein shake, I go work out, sauna, then I go on the treadmill, then I do this, and then that. And he goes like, when my daughter comes home, everything is screwed up because I have no time. And I looked at him and I go like, when do you live? When do you live? This is the true question. If we spend our time optimizing our lives, we need to think about living, because life has to be on purpose. This is how we get older, better, and live longer. So in 2021, I had the luck to sell my biotech company, and I moved from Canada to Boston. And I had more time to think, to spend with myself. Before, I was so into optimization that never I could sit down for an hour, not even for 20 minutes, and just like do nothing. Not listening to music, but listening to your breathing, listening to the birds, listening to the environment. And I realized something. By stepping out of this extreme biohacking, I went down to 50%. And it's been 3 years in a row that my biological age is at 50% down. So, and I'm not spending $2 million a year. I'm using natural elements most of the time. All this to say what? The foundation of longevity is based on something very simple. The circadian rhythm and the ultradian rhythm. Anyone knows what ultradian is? Because circadian, I think, you know? No? No? Huh. Really? Okay, circadian rhythm, 24-hour cycle, sleep, wake up, and everything. Inside of our body, every single cell we have works on what we call this ultradian rhythm. That is actually a timer that is inside of your body, and it works mainly in a cycle of 90 minutes. Why do we say we cannot focus more than 90 minutes? It is a true fact. Normally when you study, when you want to learn something, if you put more than 90 minutes on your task, your brain shuts down. And you're not retaining the information, you're not building up the memories that are required to go further. This is good when you want to keep your brain active for the future. For future age, 120, 130, you want your brain to function. So you have to pay attention to that. And the nonsense of our society today is making people working 8 hours a day, closed in an office without lights, and telling them you have to be focused for 8 hours during the day. I would dream one day to see our society shifting to work on 90 minutes, plus minus 15 minutes. You go for a walk, you come back an hour after, you work another 90 minutes. You could do that 2-3 times during the day. I used to have a company with over 200 employees. And when I sold it, people came to me and they go like, how do you work? What do you do? And I go like, well, I work 2 times 90 minutes a day. And they said, oh, we're not going to buy your company anymore. But they bought it. And the company was working super well. So this is the secret of longevity, actually. Paying attention to those elements that affect your chronological, see, the French accent comes back. just like a broken clock. Okay, see, if you break down your clock, your inside clock, you break down actually the whole system of living longer and optimizing your life. So this to go where? We're talking about biological age. Someone can be 56, 57 and have biological age of 28, but someone can be 40 and have a biological age of 50, 60, or 70, depending on the lifestyle and especially the internal clocks. So what affects biological age? You guys are super informed. I see this audience is just like, you know, maybe more than I do, and I can learn from you, but you know that everything that is against the odds to keep you living longer is like you can reduce your biological age with a good sleep, healthy diet, active lifestyle, and you can go the other way by having a high BMI above 25, for example. The stress, infection, well, we can't control all the infection, but we can build up an immunity system that fights hard and get you, and smoking, of course. So, biological age versus chronological age. When I was asking you guys, how long do you think you live? We're still thinking referential of time. We cannot control time, of course. This is the only things we can control today, it's time. But we can control our biology. So if we can control our biology, we can control our age. I mean, biological age. Do you guys know how we measure biological age? Because I've heard many people talking about biological age in today, Friday, Thursday. Please. That's one of the best methods. Absolutely, yes. Yeah. Yeah. So we have few methods that helps you to do that. The old methods, you remember, I don't know, some are young, too young to remember, but 20 years ago, biological age was measured in laboratory and research center by grip method, VO2 max, and the walking speed. The slower you walk, the older you are. Because we lose the fast twitch muscle, so we cannot go fast. So once in a while, one of the advice I give to everyone is like, try to take a sprint. Like 80% of our population that is over 30 will never sprint again. If we made the effort of taking a sprint once a week, just once, and even 10 seconds, you reverse that process. And it's a simple thing. Of course, you have to start it. So start by walking faster, and then go run a bit, and then sprint if you can. It's going to increase your VO2 max. Today, like you said, we have epigenetic clock, telomere lengths, biomarkers, and there is a method that is coming from Europe, glycans. We measure actually glucose molecules on certain cells, hematocrites, and all the methods are pretty much accurate. It's going to be the trend in the future to make them more and more accurate, because as I said before, I bet you that in less than 5 years, if you ask for a credit or a loan, they're going to ask you, what's your biological age? If you're too old compared to your age, they're not going to lend you money. Insurance company, same. You want a life insurance? Going to work the same way. So we better pay attention to that. It's coming up, and we are clever people in this room, so we know what to do. What is the influence on biological age? So, genetics. Not much we can do about genetics, you know. But we can change epigenetic. We can change how genes are coded by healthy diet, lifestyle. The lifestyle is something that is really impacting your biological age. To the top, it is factor number one. What is included in lifestyle is like actually activities, diet, sunrise, and all these things. How do you get to the point to reverse your age? By taking natural element. What is biological age? It's a chronic inflammation result. How do we measure the biological age? It's actually whatever the method we're using. At the end of the day, we're looking at the inflammation, the overall inflammation of our body. And this is the target number one. If you want to go reverse, is you have to reduce the inflammation. I'm not talking about the inflammation that you get from doing sport and things like that is beneficial. But I'm talking about chronic inflammation. Chronic inflammation is what makes you sick, makes you get older, get your skin sagging. Unless you want to do Botox, not much. So what causes inflammation? Do you know? Food, yeah. We're poisoning, our society is poisoning people, for sure, food. But there's also, outside of food, any other guess? And toxin from the environment, number one as well. What? Yeah, definitely, absolutely. But the number one, so diet, stress, obesity, infection, injuries, of course, gut, that is food. Sleep. No one talks about sleep, but sleep is super, super important. Chronic diseases, other are not controllable, but no activity causes inflammation as well. And at the end of the day, toxins, as you said. The most important one that causes inflammation, and we always neglect it. You know what it is? Anxiety. Yeah, anxiety. Anxiety, and unfortunately, in our world, 20% of our society have symptom of anxiety, but 99.98%, almost 100%, have stress. In the way that our biology is designed, you know that when I asked before, how long do you think you're going to live? The standard, normally, we are designed to live up to 120. In America, 78 for men, 82 for women, lucky women. We are missing a big gap there that is caused mainly by inflammation of the body, and all the causes were saying before. So the impact of inflammation goes on the gut microbiome, hormones, immune system, so you get sicker and you get more inflamed. Chronic inflammation and cardiovascular disease, number one killer in America. So all these accelerate your process of aging, and we don't like that. 120, it's normally the average. We say like humans are designed, okay? We live 80. What are we doing wrong? What do we do? Some people in the blue zone live 210, 15, and we don't. Number one is food, like you said, yeah. But the stress and anxiety are taking you down, are putting you down in the wrong direction. So what I've discovered when I sold my company and I had more time, like I was saying before, is like you have to set the right goals. But before setting the right goals and using any supplement technologies, modalities, 90% of our longevity is based on something very simple. Building up the baseline. the baseline that comes from natural elements. Natural elements are sunrise before 10 a.m. because you sleep better if you see the sun in a certain angle, walking, eating well, lifestyle, and above everything, purpose. If you go to a job that stresses you out, you're impacting your biology. If you have a wife or a husband that stress you out, first divorce, and then that does impact your biology. If you have kids that are like getting on your nerve, then it's your problem because you didn't educate them the right way. But Ikigai, you already heard about the term finding your purpose in life, where you find this balance of what you're doing is on purpose and it gives you a goal in life, a reason to live. And this is what I found when I moved to Boston. And from Boston, actually, I live in Miami now, because I wanted to find my purpose. Because I loved Boston, I loved the mindset of Boston, but I hate winter. I lived in Canada for 25 years, you know? It's like overdose of winter. And for me, Miami was like, this is where I want to live. And I found my purpose there, and I think this is one of the reasons my biological age is stable at 50% of my age, and hopefully it's going to stay there. But I'm using the power of nature, like I said before. This is how you build up your foundation. If you don't have that, you can use whatever you want. You can go on hyperbaric chamber every day. You can go on sauna. You can go on cold plunges every day. If your baseline is not built up, that 90%, you're just wasting your time. There is no magic pill. We've been on this planet as an evolution of species, and we've been to the point we are today because we have been using elements from the environment. So avoid toxin, of course, but use all these beautiful things that are sunlight, the diet, of course, meditation and mindfulness. How many of you guys do meditation? 1, 2, 3, 4, 10%. Super important. Super, super important for your brain. Like, it's been proven that doing meditation can even slow down or reverse Alzheimer and dementia when you get older, so you keep your brain active. If you don't know how to meditate, you can take a walk, a slow walk. It's equal, 20 minutes of walk is equal to 10 minutes meditation, so it's a good thing to do. Of course, physical activity limited. I'm not saying that you have to lift weight. I don't lift weight. And social connection. This is the beauty. Like community. We've been away from social connection for 2 years because of COVID, and we've seen a decline of longevity because of that. Anyone takes cold shower? You do? Yeah. Yeah, right. Cold shower, the shock that gets you in the neck and you're just like, that is perfect. This shock is fantastic for the body. And of course, sleep. Not oversleep, but just the right amount of sleep. And what is most important is deep sleep. Because you can stay in bed for 11 hours. If you don't sleep, you're just wasting time. And you're creating anxiety, and you're stressing your body, and you're going against the odd for longevity. And stress management, of course. So, when you have set up this kind of routine of, I wake up in the morning, I go outside, I see the sunrise, I walk, after my meal I take a walk to digest, not having my insulin spiking, and all these things that are the beauty of nature, then you can talk about technologies. And Biohackers magazine actually talk about nature and technologies. We're trying to look at what is available out there in terms of technology, but don't neglect them when you have that 90% built up. You can add on, and the adds on will bring you to 100 and something until technology help us to go further. But for now, to be honest, we cannot go to 150 with the technology we have today. But we're working on that. And in 5 years or 10 years from now, probably, I would say most definitely yes. Oh, so you can use supplement to help you live longer. There's a bug in my slide, I see. Then you can improve your health by using headset. Have you tried BrainTap, for example? This is extraordinary. It's a fantastic tool for people that don't do meditation. You can use BrainTap for 20 minutes and have the same effect of meditation, but really deep meditation. So you have a lot of technologies like that that are on the market now, and you can use. And of course, I go back to my cold plunge. I actually stay 45 minutes in the cold water. Yeah. People say, why you do that? And I go like, why not? Yeah. And then you have all these cryotherapy chambers and everything you can do. But at the end of the day, you remember that we are in a world where technologies are available and trackers are still there to help you. But mainly, at least, some people say every 6 months or every 3 months. I would say even if you do it once a year, get some testing. Blood first. Of course, the blood tests today are like pretty much limited, but you can go further with biomarkers and all these things and do an epigenetic test. And if ever you can afford that, a full body MRI, that is extraordinary. I did one with Prenovo recently, and it's just like, I'm going to die tomorrow. I'm kidding. Found nothing. And the technology will help us to get to live longer and to get to the point where we need to be. This is, I've been asked many times today and yesterday and the day before, why biohacking? What is a biohacker? So a biohacker is someone that tries to improve his life. By hacking is the biology. But I'm a scientist, and I can tell you that hacking biology is not a possible fact. So there is nonsense in biohacking some way. So I said like, okay, I'm lifespanning. It's the same. It's a word I invented. It's going to be in the dictionary next year. Thank you guys. Question? Thank you. Appreciate it.
All right, let's get some questions going here. Here we go, over
Please.
here.
Just a quick one. Cold plunge before your workout or after?
Haha.
What's that? Cold plunge before workout or after workout?
So if you want to improve your performances before workout, but it's a super hard thing to do because you're cooling down your body and then you want to warm it up. So you create a hard shock on the training. My recommendation, honestly, because cold plunge is mainly to reduce inflammation. We don't want inflammation too much. We want a certain inflammation after working out to build muscle and avoid sarcopenia. But I would say when I take cold plunges, I do my workout in the morning and I take my cold plunges by 5 in the afternoon. Yeah. And I try to alternate cold plunges and sauna and then back to the cold plunge for one reason. AGH, the growth hormone that we need. When we're a kid, AGH, we're packed with AGH. But when we get older, the AGH level goes really low and you need to activate it. If you do cold plunge sauna, 285% AGH up. And for male, testosterone, 400%.
HGH is human growth hormone.
Yeah, human growth hormone.
Anybody else? Here we go, over here.
Can I pull on that?
Hmm.
That only works though with a regular sauna, not an infrared sauna.
It's even better. You know what? Infrared sauna, I love it because you have the effect of infrared therapy at the same time as heat shock. What does the sauna? It puts you under a stress, a short stress, 20 minutes, 30 minutes of heat, so your cells are super activated. But you have the effect of infrared at the same time. So I would definitely prefer to go infrared sauna than regular sauna. Infrared in general stimulates regeneration of skin, but mainly is anti-inflammatory, which is perfect. That's what we want.
So the question was infrared sauna versus traditional sauna, right? Was that the right question?
Yeah, sort of.
Aha,
So,
okay.
the question is, do you get the same heat benefit, right? For a hot sauna,
Yeah.
Okay, I have to repeat it so the people online. The question is,
do you get the same benefit when you're going cold to hot with an infrared sauna that you do with a dry sauna?
do you get the same benefit from going from cold to hot?
Now, infrared sauna versus regular sauna.
Yeah,
Yeah.
infrared versus regular.
So, infrared sauna generate less heat than regular sauna. But you know what is important? If you are above this 150, 170, you're good to go. Even like infrared sauna, they still go to that temperature. Of course, there is a guy that stays in a sauna at 220. I'm cooking my meat at 220.
Anybody else? Next question. Here we go.
I believe you said you don't work out?
Yeah, I
Do
do
you work
calisthenics.
out or you don't work out?
I do work out. I don't lift weights. No, I quit lifting weights decades ago just because I do calisthenics, which this guy is a specialist. It's gymnastic, and for a reason. It's because the brain-body connection is completely different. What we want when we get older is be able to move down, to stand up, to do whatever you want. And this, you can only get it by using all muscle in your body and connect it to your brain. Have this top-down response, and lifting weight doesn't get you there. And it gets you stiff. Of course, you look good when you lift weight, but you walk like that.
Yeah, I call lifting weights building dumb muscle, and then
Yeah.
you do body weight calisthenics to make that dumb muscle smart.
Correct.
So if you do weightlifting, it's good to then take it to body weight and actually synergize that and make the whole body a single muscle,
Yeah.
as opposed to these different muscle groups that are kind of strong in one direction.
And you can discover that we have muscle that we don't even know that they exist, like by doing body workout like that. Yes, please.
Oh, sorry, what you're talking about reminded me of, have you seen Chris Hemsworth's series on Disney Plus, his longevity?
You know what? Great
Have you
question.
seen Chris Hemsworth? Sorry, I have to do
Yeah,
it for
go,
that.
go.
Have you seen Chris Hemsworth at Disney? It's on Disney, right?
Yeah,
Series.
it's a National Geographic series on Disney Plus, and each episode focuses on a different aspect of longevity.
Okay, got it.
And one of them is about cold plunges, actually.
Yes.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So Chris Hemsworth's series on longevity, have you seen it? And then have you seen the one specifically about cold plunging?
No, but actually I've seen Chris talking about cold plunges, and I'm going to tell you some things. You know what? I don't have a TV. I don't want my brain to be wasted by negative information that we are bombarded every freaking day. Like you wake up and the first thing you hear, that guy kills that guy that made this and this. It's a stress for your body. I don't want any stress in my life. And I'm 100% zen. I'm today at the highest level of zenness that I've ever been in my life. And so TV for me, no, thank you.
You should gotta put that in your. You gotta put it in your presentation, actually, right? Here we go.
I come from Boston too. Hope you can meet her there. My question is,
Sure.
Swim, can you comment on swim and what kind of supplements do you take every day?
Okay.
On swim, do you swim?
Yes, swim.
And what supplements do you take?
Okay, I do swim because I live on the ocean now in Miami. And supplement, I don't take many supplements. So I've heard many biohackers saying like, I take 100 supplements, I take 200 supplements. I take 7 supplements. One of them is an AD booster, so NMN, and I think this is super important when you get older. The other one is magnesium, because we need that for every functionalities of our body and muscular response and brain response and hormones and everything, and some vitamin D, and then of course fish oil for the brain functionalities, but not many. And I don't want to take too much supplement. I used to like, it's another stress in life. Like, oh, did I take it? Oh, I don't remember. And then you get, no, just the regular one. Yes, please.
Oh, sorry. What I actually meant to get to was about the dumb muscle versus smart muscle. And so what I meant to say was there's an episode where, of course, you've seen Chris Hemsworth. I mean, he's very muscle bound, especially since he was working outdoors.
Yeah.
But in the episode, what they had him try to climb a rope, which is like basic, like body motion
Body
that
strength, yeah.
anyone should be able to do if their their whole body is trained in smart muscle way, like you're talking about. And he couldn't climb the rope, even though he had all those muscles.
Wow. Chris Hemsworth couldn't climb a rope. No question, just facts. What do you think of that?
You know how many people I've seen in gyms or on the beach, and they're not capable of doing one pull-up on the bar, and they are super huge monsters because it's air. It's not muscle. It's not like, I'm not big, but I'm solid for sure because I've been training this way. Yeah.
I'm actually due for that kind. I've gone to some traditional weights for a while, but I'm like, I think everything should be a little bit like this, personally. But I mean,
Can you explain a little bit about the exercise you do if it's not weights, we all can't stand on our hands?
Yeah, sure.
yeah. So what are the exercises you do since you don't do weights, and are they actually approachable to anybody?
Okay, that's very simple. You start by doing push-up, pull-up, and dips. When you master push-up, pull-up, and dips, you can start doing some core exercise, because our core is really what takes the balance, the movement, the mobility, and everything. And stand, of course, I was showing off. That's it, yeah. But when you get to that point and you build up the strength, you can go to very solid exercise like the iron cross on rings that he does, a planche where you can stand on your 2 arms like that and your body is just horizontal up in the air. But you need core and you need that strength. But it's, this is the problem of a lot of people, they want to get to that point, but they don't want to do the work that takes you there. And it's a long process. I don't have to hide that. It's a long process. But when you do body workout, you get this addiction, but it's a good addiction to sport. And it's proven by University of Florida in the psychology department. They have shown that if you do gymnastic, you get 10 times more addicted than any other sports. And just to finish on that, a few gymnasts in the world are people that live the longest.
Wow.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
Right.
Yeah.
Let's give it up for Jean. Fantastic presentation.
Thank